Ba-do-ba-do-ba-do-do.
Nerds! Welcome everyone back to our potty.
Hey, howdy, hi.
This is book 2, episode 2. So this is gonna be
Chapter
fun.
2.
This is book 2, chapter 2. Super pumped.
When I write
Um,
my book, I'm gonna do episodes instead of chapters.
sick. All right. Today we're gonna talk about Percy Jackson. And
Percy Jackson.
so some of you are maybe familiar with it because of the books. Some of you may be familiar through the book series, or sorry, the movie series.
Okay, familiar is a generous term if it's only through the movies.
Some of you may be aware of it because of the movies, and then some of you may have even heard of it because it's going to come on Disney Plus here soon.
Yes, yes, indeedy.
Yeah, so either way, welcome.
Yes. Let's jump right in. So, according to our new format, we will start off with what is Percy Jackson, introducing the fandom. I'm
Ooh.
gesturing to Magnus Chase, which actually isn't a Percy Jackson book. Paige has them.
Yeah, I do.
Cool. I can give a brief overview.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Percy is this kid who doesn't know his dad, but his mom talks about him every now and then. And long story short, he finds out that his dad is literal Poseidon, the god,
Literal.
literal
Literally.
Poseidon. Yeah, like Broski came down from Mount Olympus, wined and dined his mom, and illegally created a new kid.
Ooh, why
Yeah,
illegally?
because him, Zeus, and Hades' kids versus the other two's kids was the cause of World War One or two. I don't remember which one, but they decided to sign a treaty of no more kids because their kids are too powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And when we say powerful, Percy can control water, he can breathe underwater, and he can talk to horses because Poseidon created horses.
Yeah, pretty powerful.
Yeah. So then he gets into um some Olympic god hijinks, and there's 10 books about
And just
it. I just want a sound bite of that laugh. You're like, it
I choked on my water.
was kind of like Voldemort when he was like,
Just to add on a little bit to the introduction, a little bit of Percy Jackson, he actually gets invited to a camp where that's where he learns that he is the son of Poseidon. And it's his adventures through the camp, making friends of other demigods. So, not necessarily of sons and daughters of Poseidon, sons and daughters of other Greek gods.
yeah, and they call them like the Big 12. And then there's other kids there that are like kids of like mini gods, right?
Yeah, so that's part of the problem that Percy comes to find out is that in the Greek culture, there's hundreds of gods, like a ridiculous amount of them. And some of them are the Big 12 are the powerful ones, the ones that everyone's commonly known: Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, Hera, Aphrodite,
Well,
Artemis.
well, you went way too fast. Let's actually count them here.
Okay, so we have Zeus, Hades, Poseidon, Hera, Aphrodite, Artemis, and her brother
Apollo.
Apollo. Thank you. I knew it started with an A. And then
Let me know you
we
want me to jump in.
Athena. No, I don't want you to jump in. Then we have Ares. Then we have Hephaestus and
Dionysus.
Dionysus, and Hermes.
Wow.
Thank you.
I didn't think you were gonna get it. I actually
Yeah,
forgot about Hephaestus. I was like, frick, which one am I getting?
this is just a quick fun fact. I don't know if this is in our format, but originally when the Greek gods, you know what? Maybe this is top theories. I don't know. I'll just say it. I'll just
Yeah,
say it.
just say it.
So the only reason that I know that is because originally when the Big 12 were created, it was going to be split even, 6 boys, 6 girls. But the goddess of the hearth, or like of the home and love, gave up her spot to not create a war. So now there's 7 boys and 5 girls.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, I think it's pronounced hearth.
Hearth, probably. I don't know.
I don't know. English.
Any, anyway, yeah. So Percy Jackson, it's just about that, and a little bit about the dispute of the big gods, who are only recognized at Camp Half Blood, and the rest of them that aren't.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Can I throw in a little tidbit here?
Absolutely.
Hera doesn't actually have any kids at Camp Half Blood, but she's honored there.
Yes.
Yeah, because she's the goddess of family.
Fidelity.
Yeah, and she hates every single one of Zeus's kids.
Every single one.
Except, okay, here's
Boo.
we're gonna stay on track, fam.
We'll circle, if you remember it, circle back to it at the end.
Okay, I will. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty good intro to Percy Jackson. So he's a demigod, son of Poseidon, and he goes to a camp year round. Oh, we should also add this camp is like the only safe place on Earth where like Greek monsters can't hurt them.
Yes, because the Greek monsters, if they kill them, if they unalive them, then they get like awards and accolades, and they move amongst the rank of Greek monsters.
The monsters do.
Yeah,
Oh, I forgot that.
that's okay.
Cool.
All right, let's move on to our next segment. Why do people love or hate it?
Why do you think people ever hate it?
For me, like my reason why I love it, I think one of the reasons that I loved it is because it like has really cool stories about Greek mythology, and they're accurate. And I think the Greek mythology alone is something to love because it's so intricate. There's so many stories. It's like the original reality TV for like Greeks, you know?
Seriously though, I've never thought about that, but it truly is.
And so like just like all this like intricate like cheating and betraying and like all these relationships that are intertwined. And like as a kid when you're reading it, obviously like you don't get like the dirty details, but like you do get details enough that you understand it and you understand the gossip, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that would happen. And so for me, I think it's just like the introduction and accuracy of Greek culture.
Yeah, it is pretty accurate. I have seen some like TikToks and stuff about how it's like people are like, well, this didn't happen kind of thing. And like I've read part of this Magnus Chase book, which is we'll get into that later. It's about like the Viking gods, and it like directly clashes with some stuff that I know about Viking gods, you know. So like he does take it and like he molds it so it fits today's world, which is like something that we talked about in the last episode. Is like the stories that are like the most successful are the ones that like take place in our current world, but are also otherworldly.
Yeah, I agree.
So that is kind of cool. Yeah, I love it because I was learning about like Greek gods in like elementary school, like just like there was like a book about Greek gods, and I like to read it every now and
Yeah.
then. Yeah, and then I got a little bit into astronomy, which is all based on like Greek culture, pretty much. Like they're the ones who decided what the stars are. That's why Hercules is in the stars.
That's why Orion's in the stars.
Yeah, that's why all the constellations are really
Yeah.
is because of the Greeks. And then I got into Percy Jackson, and I was like, wow, this is cool. Do you know if there are people who don't like it?
Yes, I do actually. People who have only seen the movies.
Oh,
Now let's like talk. We can come back to this a little bit.
that's a culture baby topic.
Yeah, but let's just say that those movies are pretty terrible. Terrible.
Mm, that's being nice.
I think also, when I got into it, when I started reading Percy Jackson, I was 11 years old. So like I think as an adult, it might be a little bit harder to get into, but not that hard if you really try.
Yeah. So you were 11 when it came out. This is a little bit like your Harry Potter.
I would say so, and I think that's why I'm such a big fan of it, to be honest.
Yeah, because he was 11 when he got to Camp Half Blood, right?
Yeah, so like I sort of grew up with him. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I first read it because it was just one of those books that you kept in the bathroom.
what a good place.
Yeah, that's how I read most of the books I've read.
Yeah, honestly, I just picked it up at a book fair, and it's the same one that I've had for forever. And it was like one of those scholastic book fairs. And I asked the lady because I like had babysitting money or something, and I was like, "Hey, what's like a really good book right now?" And she was like, "This one," and I was like, "All right, this looks cool." I didn't read it for like a year, and then finally I was like, "Oh, this book looks interesting." I forgot I owned it, so I like read it, and then I was like obsessed with it.
I remember I thought that it was what was that like Peter Pan series that you read?
Peter Pan and the Starcatcher series.
Yeah, I thought it was part of that, and I was just like not interested.
Yeah, the Peter Pan and the Starcatcher series goes off a lot, but this one's good.
Yeah, this one's really good. I will say that when I got home from my mission, um, I it, I read A Wrinkle in Time, then I read all of the Harry Potters, but then I read all the Percy Jackson books, and I read all five of them in 5 days. Granted, I was unemployed. Um,
Also, they're for children.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They're for kids, but like as an adult, I really enjoyed them.
Yeah, I would say if we were to make a potty scale right now, I would say it's a 4.5 likability out of 5.
Yes. What would you put Harry Potter at?
I would put Harry Potter at a 4.8 likability.
I was thinking 4.9.
The only reason I say 4.8 is because I do know that 7 books is really hard to get into.
Yeah, that's true.
So for those that don't like to read books, I think it'd be a little bit harder, but it has the movies. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is really, really good, really good. Really, really good.
Really, really good.
Still kind of on the same topic. The people that I've heard who don't like it are the people who are like legitimate Greek scholars, like uh just like people who are like, no, like he's got the story wrong kind of thing.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? Like Rick Riordan, the author, does so well at making it likable to kids who would have never learned these stories at all.
Yeah, that's true. Like this is a really good intro. Also, I think it's pronounced Riordan.
I've said Riordan my whole life, and I'm not
Yeah, I
changing
know.
now.
I thought it was Riordan too, but I heard it said Riordan.
Ugh, fine, I'll fix it later.
Ricky boy, Ricky Bobby. Cool. Should we move to theory time?
Yes.
I don't know any theories surrounding it.
I do. This one's like a little bit theory. There's a theory that Disney Plus will take it all the way through, all the way to the
Like
next.
all through 10 books?
Yes, but technically there's 15.
Are you, it
No,
the Red Pyramid?
no.
Is he writing more?
No, so technically, well, I think he is, but not of Percy Jackson. So in the Greek God series, there's Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief series. Then there's Heroes of Olympus series. Then there's a third series that follows Jason, the son of Zeus. And Jason knows Percy, and it follows his story.
I didn't know Jason had some stories.
Yeah, so I think that they might take it all the way, at least to the 10, if it does well.
Better do well.
It better do well. But that's as far as theories, that's the only thing I really have. It's really hard to have theories on things that rely on history because it's dwelling a lot in the past.
Yeah, that's true. Like he really does just take Greek stories that are like well known, and he just says like, here's this story retold. Like Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. Is that the one with Medusa?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they just like straight take the story. Like his name is literally Perseus, and he
Yeah.
decapitates Medusa. Spoilers. Should have put spoilers up first, but the book's been out for 900 years. You should have read it by now.
The myth has been out for over 2,000 years.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like he's taking stuff that was like previously done and doing it. So it's like, yeah, it really is tough to have theories.
Yeah.
It would have been a lot better if we were doing this podcast when like I remember us talking about like what would happen in Blood of Olympus. That's number 10, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember us talking about like what does the Blood of Olympus kind of mean, sort of thing. But now it's
Yeah.
out, and
We
we're
know.
just we're at a spot where there's like no real theories here.
Yeah, we're omniscient at this point.
What a funny thing to say about a book about gods.
I know, right? I'm not planned. All right, well then let's just go ahead and go to the next one because I think this is going to be a longer segment of our new
Yeah.
format.
This one, section 4. You can introduce it because I introduced theories.
Pop culture babies. So, Caleb, like, what do you think of as a baby that came from Percy Jackson?
What do I think?
Or
Percy
no?
Jackson.
Turn the hat backwards.
It's
Let's get
like I'm
into
gonna catch a Pokemon. Okay, Percy Jackson. After I don't know where in the timeline this happened because I got into the series super late, but I know after Percy Jackson, the Red Pyramid series came out,
Yeah,
and that's a series about the Egyptian gods.
which is a really good series too.
How many books are in that one? I know there's at least 3.
There's just 3.
There's just the 3. Okay, I've only read part of book 1 because it was yours. And I think you took it to college with you, and it was a semester that I wasn't up there.
I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the first baby. And then the next baby was the Heroes of Olympus, right?
Yes. Yes, you're right. The Heroes of the Heroes of Olympus sort of continues on with Percy's story, but not really. It's really interesting the way that he does his writing in the Battle of or the Heroes of Olympus. He follows the perspective of 7 heroes instead of just Percy. So Percy is one of the heroes, but he's not the main hero anymore, but it does follow his story. So that's why it's like sort of a part of Percy's story.
Yeah, like I've heard about a lot of fans. So the first book in Heroes of Olympus follows Jason, who is the son of Jupiter, not the son of Zeus.
Yes, thank you for clarifying because that is an important fact.
Yeah. But a lot of people were pissed when they started watching when they started watching that book.
This
When they started
book
reading that
isn't
book.
doing anything. It's just sitting on the shelf.
Yeah, but a lot of people were mad. And honestly, I was confused because I was like, where the heck is Percy? And
Yeah.
like, did people remember Percy? Was that or was he like clouded from their memories? I forgot.
Annabeth, who is Percy's boo thing, finds Jason, and Annabeth like basically tackles him and is like, "Tell me where Percy is."
Oh,
And he's
okay.
like, "Who is Percy?" So Annabeth does remember Percy, but no one knows. Other than that, no one knows.
But also Jason didn't even remember who he was, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so that was a really interesting thing. And then you get to book 2, which finally follows Percy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a really cool one.
Yeah. What comes after?
The next thing that was spawned of Percy Jackson were those awful, awful, awful movies.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. The only thing the books and the movies have in common is that there's a kid named Percy Jackson and that there are some Greek gods.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
Yes. I have two major grievances. For one, Annabeth is supposed to have like gray eyes, and she has blue eyes in that one, and like brown hair, and then she's supposed to be blonde. But like, that's not really the grievance, is that she doesn't look like Annabeth. It's that the age of these like characters, they're supposed to be 11 years old when they go to camp, and they're 16. My
Well, it's not
grandmother.
that they're supposed to be 11. It's not like Hogwarts where it's like you're 11, you can now come. It's just that Percy was 11 when he got there.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden it's these 16-year-olds that are like acting like 11-year-olds, and you're like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, it's like 20-year-old actors acting as 16-year-olds acting as 11-year-olds. So it's like this trickle effect of awful.
Now let me clarify. It's not that in the movie they were like, oh, these people are 11 years old. No, it's in the script, they act like 11-year-olds, like make choices that 11-year-olds make, but they say that they're 16. And you're like, no freaking way would a 16-year-old not be trying to get together with this boy who she thinks is hot. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, a 16-year-old would be focused on that, which it does get up to her age where she is obsessed with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I hated about the movies was that, like, right at the beginning, like Zeus and Poseidon have a talk together where Zeus is just like something about your kid kind of thing. But like Zeus didn't know that Poseidon had a kid.
Yeah. It was a secret. Percy was a secret.
Yeah, because of that treaty. And then also, it's been so long since I've watched it, but I feel like you could kind of tell that Luke, son of Hermes, was bad straight from the beginning
Yeah. And in the
in the
books,
movies.
you get blindsided by it.
Yeah, in the books, it's just a left hook.
Also, I feel like you still sort of like Luke enough that you're like, maybe he's still a good guy.
Didn't he? Oh, it's been so long since I've read him, but I feel like he actually kind of came around in the end.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to spoil that.
No. But
We'll spoil things like in book one, but like that's like a major
it's
plot point.
good. Um, there is another thing that I will say, because there's a lot of things that was in the movie. Like, if they had gotten it right with the right kind of like age group and brought in all the characters, then I think it could have done better than it did, but they just didn't. So anyway, there's a bully at camp, and her name is Clarice, and she's like not there at all in the
Yeah,
first one. But
yeah,
she's
and
like a major part of it in the first book.
she was major. She's like Percy's main antagonist.
Yeah. Like Percy is hesitant about the camp because of her. So he's like still trying to find his way in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they only made the second movie because enough people went like opening weekend, basically.
No, the reason that they made it is because he was contracted for 5 movies.
Wow.
Disney contracted 5 whole movies with him.
With
And
Logan or with Rick?
with Rick. And
Wow.
because if on the side of all of his books, he is produced, his publisher is
Oh
Disney.
yeah, yeah. Hyperion, isn't it?
Yeah, Hyperion, which is Disney's book publishing company. And yeah, you can see it on there. It has like Caleb showing you, it has a Disney logo and everything. So like Disney signed him up, but I think he worked out a deal to where they would produce his other books instead of doing the rest of the movies. But he still was really frustrated about it because he knew the potential that was there.
Yeah, well, and that he's a major part of the screenwriting for the new one, right?
Yeah, which brings us to the more modern pop culture
Oh,
babies.
we are skipping a very important pop culture baby here.
We're skipping like a couple, but go ahead.
Magnus Chase.
Yeah.
Magnus Chase, minor spoilers, is Annabeth's cousin, but he is the son of a Viking god.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this series follows the Viking gods. I've read most of this book. I haven't read any of the sequels though, and I really want to.
I think I read 3 of them, but I think it was at a time where I was avoiding my finals in college. So I don't really
Nice.
remember it.
What was one of the other ones we skipped over?
I think Apollo. I think there's like Sons of Apollo or something like that.
Oh yeah. I forgot all about that one. I haven't read it though. It's just like a one-off book, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like it's so in Rick's world, in this like world that he's created, it just is like everyone on Earth that has like different respects to different gods. So if you believe in the Egyptian gods, then like that's who your kids could be a part of. So essentially, like you would call them down and be like, "Hey, I believe in you enough," you know? And so like
Yeah,
that's how like they all have created like this like there's like the Greek gods, the Roman gods, the Viking gods, the Egyptian gods, and they're all sort of connected somehow.
yeah. I will say I really appreciate how he respects all of the religions, kind of thing. And like in one of the books, I think it might have been in Red Pyramid. Even I don't remember, but he like even makes a differentiation between like little G God and big G God,
Yeah.
like implying that the Christian God also exists in his world.
Yeah. So that's what they're saying. Like, if you believe in your religion, it exists, you know? Like, very American. Very American.
Yeah, so in Percy's case, since Percy believes in the Greek gods, which he kind of has to because he's a son of a Greek god, when he dies, he's gonna go to like the Greek afterlife.
Elysium.
Well, that's one of the possible
If you're a
areas,
hero.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, just because he's a hero doesn't mean he's gonna make it there. But
Yeah. Anyway, which brings us to the final culture baby that like I'm beyond pumped for. It's the Percy Jackson series on Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
They just released a whole bunch of pictures and it looks really good.
Did they really?
They released a teaser trailer. Oh my gosh.
When?
Should we get your live reaction right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take my headphones out for this though. I'm gonna watch it on my phone. Oh, his cabin is freaking dope.
So that's actually a little bit of like a thing.
Don't say I didn't warn
Okay. How have I not seen this in the last 9 months?
I don't even know. It's freaking
Oh my
sick,
gosh. I'm
right?
gonna go watch this on my TV when we're done.
So, okay, so like the cabin in the trailer has already sparked some debate because it's described in the book as like a rundown, shabby, like fishing shack. And that's like a mansion. But it's a huge upgrade because people are arguing about the set instead of the people, instead of like the costumes. Like it's just like, hey, if we're gonna argue about something, let's argue about the stupidest thing to argue about.
That's actually very similar to how I imagined it though.
Me
Like
too.
I thought that it was like the front had like Greek pillars. Like I didn't imagine it two stories like it shows in that trailer. But it was also like on like the ocean or the lake or whatever body of water was right there at the camp, and like the inside felt like a fishing shack, I thought,
Yeah.
but the outside still looked Greek in
Well,
nature.
and they don't show the inside, so we don't know what's on the inside.
And the shirts are 100% accurate because they've been selling those shirts since before the other movie came out.
Yeah. I used to own one. I actually own a Percy Jackson shirt that has like the whole book on it. Have you seen
Oh,
those?
cool. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen those.
Yeah.
I want to get an SPQR shirt.
Oh, that'd be
The
sick.
purple ones, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll make Preston wear, maybe I'll get like matching Camp Half Blood shirts and wear them when it comes out. I have him do stuff like that all the time.
Oh, yeah, I'm pumped for it. And like I know that like we've have we talked about Percy Jackson on this podcast before?
I think briefly, but not like highlighted it.
Yeah, I think we have. And it's like yeah, so there are like random little things that are different. Um like one thing that sparked debate was that Annabeth is not like she was described in the book as like a tan blonde girl.
Hmm.
You know, she's an African American girl, and it's like, but Rick has like met her and said that she acts exactly like her. So
Which I love
yeah.
because
And
I feel like,
if they give her blonde hair too, like that'll just be like a cherry on top.
oh, that'd be sick if they gave her blonde braids. Oh, if
Yeah.
they gave her gold beads to get the golden the or not. Have you seen like the and when they do like braids and then they have like a silver clip, like those silver like there's just like silver clips in them. I don't know.
Oh, cool.
It's super sick. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. Who plays Chiron?
I don't know. Let me look it up really quick. It is. Oh, you're gonna love this though. You know who plays Dionysus?
Dionysus.
Dionysus. Do you know who plays him?
No.
It's Adrian Pimento from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh yeah, I did know that. He's gonna do so good.
Jason Mantzoukas is his real name.
Yeah, that's not how you say it. But
I'm working on it,
I
okay?
know I can't remember how
Okay.
to say it though, unless I'm like reading
It's
it.
it's Glenn Turman. I know I've seen him from places, but I can't think of one right off the top of my head.
I guess I should just look it up so I know
Here,
you're
this is him.
cool. Yeah. But I'm like really excited for it. Like because like we just said, they got the ages right. Like I think the actor who's playing Percy is like 13 in real life.
Hmm.
And like he's just gonna be perfect for it.
If you guys have seen Adam Project, he's the one who plays Ryan Reynolds' younger self,
Yes.
which I just think that's the right personality to have.
Yeah. Yeah. Percy was a little sass.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so pumped.
I think we should move on to our next one because I think we're like almost talking about it, but we haven't quite talking about it.
The
Is the
culture of the fandom.
yes, yes. So when you think of a Percy Jackson fan, what do you think of?
A closet nerd.
I agree. I was gonna say somebody who stays dormant until it gets brought up, and then they're like,
Yeah, it's one of
okay.
those things. Like if you're in the Percy Jackson fandom, you're just like, checking out the apples at Walmart. You hear someone say Percy Jackson, you're just like,
But you don't talk about it. You're just like, that's a cool person.
yeah, you just like listen and you're like, yeah. And everyone secretly is like, oh yeah, that's the house I'd be in. That's the Greek god I would be descended from.
Yeah. Yes, I
Hey,
agree.
well, what Greek god would you be descended from?
I really want to say Athena, but if not Athena, probably Ares.
I think you would be Athena.
Thank you. That means so much to me.
Yeah, if not Athena, I'd actually pick Artemis for some reason.
I would be a celibate 15-year-old the rest of my life.
I don't think those are her kids. I think those are the people who like pick her. But yeah, that's like the
Artemis has done a vow of celibacy for her whole life.
yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like you would, but like if she wasn't,
Thank you.
like
That
you
also,
you
that's a
fit the personality.
compliment.
You pick the you fit the personality of the hunters. That's what I'm saying.
Wow. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah,
You can
but
keep it
yeah,
coming. I
we'll
like
go
it.
with Athena.
I would say, wait, what do you say? Do you want me to say what I think, or do you want to just tell me
For
what you?
me, I should say what I think I am first.
Okay.
And this was pre Percy Jackson. Okay, like I have been into Greek gods for a, a, a while. Poseidon has always been my favorite, and I would say Poseidon.
I would also say Poseidon. I would have said Poseidon before, like you even saying that, because you've always loved the water. Like
Yeah,
you are like a huge fish about like a not like a huge fish, not like a whale. I'm not calling you fat. Anyway, let me come back a little bit.
I'm fine being like a whale.
what I what I'm trying to say is like you've always been like one to gravitate towards water sports. You love to try it out. And like I think you also understand like how to respect water sports. Like you don't just do dumb stuff. Sometimes you do, but like you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I kind of want to insert a picture of me as Poseidon right here.
Okay.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. Yes, I
Cool.
do. I
We
think okay, well then let me just say this. I think if not Poseidon, I would probably say Hades.
oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Because here's the thing.
Oh,
I think I think you have this like understanding of things that need to get done, even if they're hard. And I think you would understand the responsibility that Hades carries.
also, children of Hades are earthbenders. So
You're welcome.
thank you.
So something that I was thinking about when it comes to like being like a son or a daughter of like one of these Greek gods, it's like always going to be a compliment. Like they're all so cool. Maybe not Hephaestus.
No, Hephaestus would be freaking dope.
Uh,
Nico,
Which one? Well, which one would you be like, oh, I don't want to be that guy?
Dionysus.
But he is like the best personality because he's drunk all the time.
But he's the worst personality because he's drunk all the time.
Yeah, that's true. I guess
Except
he is.
I guess he's actually the worst personality because he's sober all the time now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about it.
And the Greek gods are weird. Like, so Zeus is in Thor Love and Thunder,
Hmm.
and so is Dionysus. And Dionysus is technically a son of Zeus.
Yeah. So is Ares and so is Hephaestus.
And so is Athena.
Hmm.
Well, she's not a son of
Well, she's
Zeus,
not a
but
son. Well, so is Artemis and Apollo, and I think Aphrodite also.
no, Aphrodite is older than Zeus.
Ooh,
Aphrodite is as old as Gaia and Tartarus.
that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like I think like the Percy Jackson like fans, I think are just super loyal, like so much so that Disney's like, hey, we could redo our mistake and we're still gonna make a ton of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, overall, I would say the Percy Jackson fandom gets an A. I've never met someone who like gatekeeps Percy Jackson.
No, I think people just really want other people to read it.
Yeah. Well, and really, like Percy Jackson's just so good because it introduces you to like a real world topic. Like Harry Potter's my number one, so I always go back to it. I read Harry Potter, and it doesn't inspire me to go and learn card tricks or like get into magic.
Hmm.
But you read Percy Jackson, and it's like, whoa, like is this really how the Greek story went? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a history lesson within that's like super entertaining.
Yeah. Um, the thing that you told me to remember to the end, I probably should have said it while we were talking about the kids of the gods. Because like so in the book, Athena, not Athena, Hera doesn't have any kids at the camp because she doesn't have any kids because she's the goddess of family and
She doesn't
fidelity.
have any human kids,
Yeah, like Hephaestus is her son.
and so is Ares.
Yeah, and probably all the other ones we mentioned, except for Athena. Athena is 100% Zeus's only
Yeah, brain baby.
brain baby. It's his literal
Little
brainchild.
brain baby.
um, but so Hercules is a demigod, son of Zeus, but Zeus named him Heracles, not Hercules, Heracles, and like literally gave him to Hera. So if
Mhm.
he were at Camp Half Blood, he would actually live in Hera's cabin.
Yes.
How
Although
neat is that?
although there is speculation because Hercules actually has like a really tragic backstory. He has like three wives, two of which he killed himself. So like um and he's like doomed to be a gatekeeper of the Red Seas, I think. Um
Yeah, I like the Strait of Gibraltar. I don't think it's the Red Seas. I think it's the Mediterranean.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But like he's sort of doomed because of people say like because of Hera, like even though Zeus tried to make it up to her, ultimately he was worse off.
Yeah, well, I mean, she kind of elevated Hercules to god level, even though he has a crappy job, versus she would have just killed him. So,
Yeah, you give and you take.
yeah. Like, I mean, she did give him immortality, but
Yeah. So overall, 4.5 likability. The fans are an
I think
A.
I would actually give it like 4.6. I'm like
Okay,
4.5 just feels too low.
4.6. Let's go
Like, I really want to
4.6.
say 4.7, but like, it's just okay.
It's not
Here's what
only
I'm going to
for
say
adults.
Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief series, Percy and the Heroes of Olympus, the first 5 books. I
5.
will. I will. Well, I was going to give it a 4.5, but then when you include the other ones, I'm going to give it the 4.7. It
Oh,
bumps it up.
that's funny. I was gonna give it a 5 for Percy Jackson, and then I was gonna bump it down because of the other ones.
I love when they include the Roman gods too.
Yeah. Well, and so like overall, it ranks pretty high, right? The fans are good fans. There's like no gatekeeping. The series itself is really easy to get into and really easy to stay in. So ultimately, like, if you're wanting to get into it, please do me a favor and just read The Lightning Thief. Read it, don't watch it, read it. And then if you like it enough to go on to the second one, after you read the second one, you'll be hooked.
Yes. Yeah. After the second one is when you get hooked. I was going to say like book 3 is when it starts to get really, really good. And that's because like book 1 and 2 kind of build it up to a point where it's like, now you have to finish the other 3 at
Yeah.
least.
Or if you have kids, read it to your kids. Like they would love it. It's not too scary. It gets scary if like you put voices to it.
Well, I mean, and if your kid, like, I guess I just have a good imagination, but like the freaking, what are they called? Furies or harpies?
Oh well, yeah. Yeah.
Those are creepy.
Or the 3 fates that just happen to show up at random points in Percy's
Yeah.
like life.
Yeah.
Okay, some things are a little creepy, but
Yeah. So maybe a kid like 8 or 9 and up.
yes. Yeah, that's who his audience is. And he keeps it PG. There's like no swearing, so yeah. Overall just a really good series.
Yeah, solid. Which we did bleed into the last section of how do I get into it.
Yes, sorry.
So how you get into it is read Percy Jackson. Read it. You have to read it. And I would suggest reading them before the Disney series comes out. So then you can sit there and be like, well, in the book.
Yeah, maybe you will be like, "Oh yeah, that cabin's not the right cabin."
Yeah. The Oracle's supposed to be way creepier.
Where's the green smoke?
His Coke's not blue. Pepsi?
Ambrosia.
Well, I know, but like,
I think it is Coke.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Cool.
I don't know. I love it. So
Yeah, and you can buy the whole series in like a box set for like $30 right now, I think.
pretty much anywhere. I think it's actually popular enough that sometimes like Target and Walmart will sell it.
Yeah, I've seen them
Like the
there.
series. Yeah, so like go to Target, it's always 20% off at Target.
I found it on Facebook Marketplace for $20 today.
Or go to the library.
Free.
Free.
Freezies. But you might have to fight with some kids doing summertime reading. So
No, you don't get those rodeo tickets. I'm gonna read this. That's what I got for doing summer reading. So
I think I got a personal pizza from Pizza Hut that
oh,
I
you
just
didn't.
like gave to Ren because I don't like pizza.
Well, I don't think you made it to the end. I think that was like the second stage.
No, I'm pretty sure I made it. Oh yeah, I got Roaring Springs tickets one year.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, go to your library, get rodeo tickets, Roaring Spring tickets,
Yeah, go to your library and get free stuff.
stuff. All right, guys. Thanks. We hope you like the new format. I think it worked out really well.
Yeah, it's gonna be way less editing.
Yeah, we didn't just like go off on our own tangents. Pew. Boo. Well, we did, but not really. Anyway,
Yeah.
you want to take us out, Caleb?
Yeah. Gosh, we really should be saying this at the beginning. Like and subscribe. Help us get to 100 subscribers. We're filming this one the same time as our last one, so we're still currently at 36 subscribers, but we really want to get to 100.
Yes. And
Yes.
share this video. If you liked it, send it to somebody who you think would like it.
Yeah, send it to someone who loves Percy Jackson,
Or
or
maybe
just like,
somebody who wants to get into a new book and you don't have a recommendation. Send them this.
yeah. You could also just be like, "Hey, who likes Percy Jackson?" And you'll be surprised, and then send it to them.
Maybe when you're picking out apples.
Yeah, at Walmart. Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Cool. Okay, now, woo.
We got off. Our format ended, so we just gave up.
Yeah, It's just blank now. Okay, thanks everybody. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Wow.
Nerd.